Morning all. How are we all doing? Happy Monday. Oof. Back again, another week, another grind. I'm going to pass this evaluation this week. I'm determined. Morning Diamond, morning Frank. I've still got my arm problem. Morning Stevie. Just to let you know, so I've been in absolute agony all week. It's just like 24/7 pain when you get these trapped nerves. And just learnt this weekend the medication that they've put me on. Side effects are blurred vision. Remember on Friday I said I can't read the prices. I still can't read the prices. So you're going to have to help me with the prices on the screen because I can't read the bloody things. It's 15,300 something, I think, on the Dax at the moment, but I can't tell you what because I can't read it properly. And it takes about a week for these drugs to kick in, apparently. So potentially got another 3 or 4 days of pain, and I haven't slept properly for now 3 days. So live rooms might not be as energetic as usual. Morning, Eric. So just to let you know, and it's also half term this week. So I'm meant to be taking a couple of days off to go off and do stuff with the kids. But at the moment I can't drive because I'm not allowed to drive on the drugs that I'm on. And I'm in too much pain to actually do anything. So I might just have to drop some live rooms as we go this week. So just to let you know, but I will update in the Telegram group because, but oh God, wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, honestly. Morning, Jacob. So quick update on last week. Friday, I closed out gold. For those of you that were in here last week, I got into gold. Actually, I got into gold the week before, didn't I, on that Thursday. Regretted it as soon as we had the unemployment figures. Gold didn't push up. So what I was hoping for was a push into this propulsion gap to get me out. And I had a couple of opportunities to break even on this and I didn't take it and it dropped. So Friday I got out. I scalped, basically. I cheated. So yeah, I cheated. So I took a 1.5 long there. That one got me $637 and I shut the lot. Basically. So I closed out all of my gold on Friday. So I took a position down here. And I tried a scalp there, which failed, as you can see, is stopped out on that. Then I added it back on again. Basically, the reason I was adding here was because of this propulsion move here. Yeah, so we pushed up. I added on that reversal alert. And then it pushed really hard again and rejected. And then it rejected again there. So as we came into this area, I was basically looking for another rejection. That was my entry there, which was a 50% of that. Basically, it was this low here. I entered, got stopped out on that one. We put in a lovely long wick, which stopped me out. So I entered again. That's the scalp that got me out. So 10 minutes basically. And then I shut the whole thing down. I made a nice profit on it. Not a lot of profit. I made a few $100s on it. But so yeah, I'm out of gold. I'm not getting back in it. I shouldn't have been in it in the first place. I don't get on with gold, as you know. Other things I closed out. CAD Swiss. I did some drawdown control on a lot of stuff on Friday. I had a really good scalping session on Friday in the afternoon. So I managed to do some drawdown control on some stuff. So I've closed a little bit out of the CAD Swiss up there on Friday. Couldn't make it up, could you? As soon as I closed it, pop. So they took this high basically. But I closed a bit of CAD Swiss out. Pound US dollar, I closed that completely. So that pound US dollar that I got into last week on there, I closed that down here. So I took 2 positions on that. There was one there and one there. Closed both of those out. So I'm a flat pound US dollar. Pound New Zealand, I closed one out on Friday as well. So that was the position I took on Thursday. I closed that out at the end of New York. Still in that, still got 3 positions on Pound New Zealand. Yeah, 3 positions short on that still. What else did I close out? New Zealand dollar CAD. I did some drawdown control on New Zealand dollar CAD. So these are buys. So I did some drawdown control on that position there. I reduced that down to I can't read that. Jesus, these drugs, my God. 0.22. I have to squint to be able to see. 0.22, I've reduced that down to, that was a 0.6. So that's the second drawdown control on that. As you can see, there's one done there and one done there. So I've taken 2 drawdown controls, that one and that one. So I'm happy with the position. Look, I'm about to break even on it. So but I did a little DD control on that one. There's a bit more gold. Yeah, so I did some more gold drawdown control. Euro pound I did some drawdown control on as well. There. Closed out another one. So I've dropped that one down in size as well. There was another one actually I closed down as well, I think, on that Euro pound. Yeah, there. That one as well. I took a nice $300 loss on that one as well, which was this position here. So I've scaled that down. I've scaled that down. So basically just bringing my averages a lot closer. I'm being aggressive with drawdown control on this account because it's a prop firm account. I've got to be a little bit more aggressive than normal with it because obviously I've got to stay within drawdown levels. So I'm keeping my drawdown control tight. So I'm using a lot of my scalping profits to do DD control where I needed to. I got up to 4% drawdown on Friday, which is too much. I think I'm in 1.8 now. 1.6, 1.7. So as you can see, I had a really bad day. I had a really bad scalping day last week. Then I had a good scalping day with the ORB. Then I had a really good one on Friday. That was 2.5 to 3 grand. And I used a 1.5%, a little bit more than that actually, just over 1.5% of DD control. And I still walked away with 0.5%. So I haven't made any progress basically on this evaluation. So I'm upping the stakes this week basically. I need to get this one moving because it's just annoying me. Anyway, update on the COT report. There's no COT report this week at the moment. So there's an issue with the CFTC. They posted this on February the 10th on Friday. There's some kind of cyber attack, and it's stopped a lot of the futures traders submitting their reports on a timely manner. So basically, we haven't got the COT report this week, and it's really annoying because I think this COT report is going to be quite different because this is the COT report from which will be the fallout basically of FOMC and the unemployment figures. So unfortunately, we haven't got it yet. So my I automatically get this fed into my system every morning at between 5 and 6 o'clock. It basically goes and checks every morning, every day of the week. So it will keep checking and updating. And obviously, as soon as that updates, I'm checking this on a daily basis manually just so I can see when it's updated. And I'll run the script manually if I need to. But so yeah, we're behind on the COT report. So there is no COT report. Just be aware of that this week. It hasn't changed. So there's no change on the fundamentals. Market's just opened. It hasn't. Sorry. 1 minute to go. What was that just triggered there? That must have been an ADR. Oh yeah, New Zealand dollar yen. Just hit ADR. So yeah, we'll have a look at all the FX pairs in a minute. Let's just watch the open quickly this morning. See if we can get a decent move out the DAX. Long on the DAX. Blimey. Very long on the DAX, very quickly. Swiss yen's hit ADR. Break even on the trades. Oh no, I'm not breaking yet. There's my stops. I'm just going to quickly monitor these because I might manually close one. Which one's got the lowest TP? That one. Damn. Go on, Dax. Nice little pop this morning. So there, you saw probably on the P&L there, I had a grand up there. I'm being fairly aggressive with this morning. I'm up to $500 risk per entry now. because I just want to get this evaluation over the line. I'm well over in time. I just need a really good day. So I'm being a bit aggressive, which might hurt me, but he who dares and all that. Running out of steam here. I'm just going to break even these. I don't want to take a loss on them, so I'm going to break even them. Should have bagged the grand. I'm running a 2.5, no, 1.5 to 1 R on this at the moment, on this set file. So just looking for that fast move up to there. There's a fake move this morning, so we may be going down. Might get a second entry on these, depending on when this candle closes. I've got the wrong template on here. I don't know how long I've got left on the candles. So there's your 5-minute open. Let me just quickly check. I've got a new VPS I've set up. Just want to check it's running. Yeah, that's running perfect. Good. That one won't be running yet. And those are NASDAQ, so that's working. Cool. I just bought a new VPS at the weekend. Really powerful one. I can run about 20 MT4s on it. So I'm going to amalgamate some of my older VPSs and put everything in one boat. Probably not the best thing to do, but it's cheaper. I spend about 2.5 grand on VPSs a year, I've worked out. So I'm just trying to do a bit of a cost-cutting exercise. That one that I've just bought is 55 a month plus the VAT, so probably about 70 quid a month. I can run pretty much everything off of that. So what I'm going to do is use some of my older ones to run some demo accounts, basically, just so that I can keep a ongoing track of the ORB set files and the market reverse alerts in the EA set files as well. Okay, so the DAX is still pushing at the moment. Well, it's not really pushing, is it? It's more hovering. Morning, Warren. Damn. So it would have taken my trailer out anyway, unfortunately, this morning. I had a 20-point trailer on it, and it would have taken me out regardless if I hadn't have closed them out of break even. So that's unfortunate this morning. A little bit too much of a whipsaw. However, this one is still going. That's interesting. Look, two positions, both taken exactly the same, right? One of them stopped out and the other one didn't. Both had exactly the same stop. So that must have come down exactly to my stop, to the pip. One order got filled, the other one didn't. How weird is that? Look at that. Bizarre. This is running the pre-market set file. And it's the one that had the TP on that got stopped out. So this is basically just going to run on a 20-point trailer now. Interesting. Right, so it's off without me at the moment. So there's your 5-minute opening range in. If you're taking the 5-minute opening range break, that is your 5-minute open. I think I've got a set file running 5. Yeah, so this is running the 5, 10, 15, and this one is running the 15 only. So I've got 3 different set files running on here for the DAX, 3 for the NASDAQ. I'm going to set up 3 for the Dow this afternoon as well. So this VPS is just going to run multiple accounts, basically. all trading ORB. Nice. So that's pretty much break even now. $66 loss potential. Okay. So just quickly looking at the dashboards this morning. We didn't have any this morning. We have now. We've got a New Zealand dollar yen, which has just hit ADR to the upside. Swiss yen has just hit ADR as well. So we've got weakness on the yen this morning. If you look at the Aussie dollar yen, that's still pushing. Euro yen pushing. Everything's pushing against the yen. We had that huge drop on Friday. So really, really strong yen on Friday for a good couple of hours. And it retraced that whole move as well. So this is why I'm not trading the yen at the moment. It's very, very, very difficult to get a gauge on what is going on with this yen. The market for the yen is actually short. So if you look at the COT report, although this is the old COT report, obviously, because we haven't got the new one yet. The market is short the yen. They're 64% short. That's kind of on the cusp of where I would be thinking not really interested. Anything below 60, I kind of class as pretty much neutral. If it's over 60, 65, really, then I start to pay attention. Anything over 70, 75 is obviously very, very long or short. So it's fairly short, the market, but not that short. So again, it's very difficult to give you any gauge as to what's going on with this. As you can see, since we had that move on the yen, we're sideways. It's a very nice symmetrical triangle forming potentially here. I wonder if that will draw 1, 2, 3. I don't think that will actually be one because its calculations aren't right on that. Yeah, it's not bad. So you've got a symmetrical triangle forming here at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is your signal now. The next break is potentially, well, whatever happens within this contraction now, you need to be paying attention for a breakout, basically. So this is actually a bearish symmetrical triangle because the last move was bearish. So this is a contraction for what is anticipated to be a bear move, but obviously we know symmetrical triangles do actually break either way. So yeah, very, very difficult at the moment to tell what's going on with any of these yens. I'm going to steer clear of them still. From an intraday basis, if anything gets really extended on an RSI, I think you can trade these yens at the moment in either direction. However, I would be more inclined to short them because of what the Japanese do with the yen. They basically dump it whenever they fancy it, or they pump it whenever they fancy. So you've got more chance of getting on one of these moves. You can see how difficult it is to push. Yeah, so it gets a little push, then it stalls, little push, and the drop, every drop we get is fast and hard. Yeah, so it's much better to be short on it because your moves are going to play out very, very quick. When you're trying to go long on it, it's a chore to go long and then it collapses. Yeah, really good example here on the pound yen. Look. So we had this big, strong push down. Then we pushed up. We got lots of movement to the downside. We push up, pull back down. Yeah, pull back down, push up, and then we collapse. And then it's very, very slow moving. And then all of a sudden, bang, 4 hours, undone the entire lot. So you want to be short on it, I think, at the moment, just because you're going to catch that move fast. You're going to be in and out and done. Whereas if you're going long, you could be stuck in it for 2 or 3 days. Yeah. And then obviously it undoes the whole lot in 4 hours. So I'd rather be looking for shorts on any of them. None of them are set up at the moment for longs or shorts, really. So RSI dashboard on the yens. We've got CAD yen, and that's it at the moment. CAD yen is set up at the minute, but apart from that, nothing. So got those ADRs to look at potentially this morning if you fancy shorting them. So yeah, I like that. That's a lovely Swiss yen look. Beautiful at the top there. So potentially just taking the liquidity off of that new spike. Drop back down. Not really a propulsion gap that. That didn't break. there's not really any targets to the downside, I would say. But I mean, it's all the way really. So news-wise today, we haven't covered the news, have we? The reason the Swissy is so strong this morning is because we've had the CPI figures for the Swiss franc, which came out bigger than expected. So we've got good moves there on the DAX. Hang on, sorry, one sec. I've just got massive profit on the DAX. So I've just re-entered DAX long. So I just looked at my P&L and I was like, "Oh, hello, what's going on?" I don't like this price action, so I'm just getting ready to shut these manually because I don't like this price action at the moment. But we'll see. I want to see this high break. We've got 3 minutes left on this candle. Morning, Seymour. It looks top heavy. The wicks are really strong to the upside on these. So I want to see a good move going in. It's struggling to get any higher. It's going to be one of those mornings where I could have banked $2,000 if I'd have actually just taken the one candle exit, but I'm trying to get a runner. I'm just getting ready to close one. If it gets back to break even, because I just don't want to take $1,000 loss on it. But I'll take a 500. There we go. Okay, so I want to see this high break. Basically, I'm expecting to see a flush out the highs and a quick pop out the highs, as these shorts just get their liquidity in there. So anybody that's shorted in there, they've got liquidity sitting there and there. I should expect that to get eaten very quickly and pop out the top. If not, this is seller heavy this morning, and the buyers are not going to be able to get through, and they're going to puke out the bottom, which is why I'm getting ready to close this, because it doesn't look like they've got enough legs at the minute to actually make a move. I just don't really want to take a loss on it. Morning, Steve. Closing one. No, closing. Don't like it. It's not worth taking a loss on it. We're not able to get higher. I think we're going to break out to the downside, in which case, obviously, I'll get on these shorts. Stopped out on that one as well. $200. Okay, 15-minute as well. So that should be 5, 10, 15. That's good. And that should be taking the 15s. Cool. Okay, that's good. They're all working. So I'm also taking the 15-minute opening range as well, which is here. And so that's the pre-market, and that is, sorry, that's the pre-market, and that is the 15-minute opening range. So I'm going to go short 3. There's one. Nice bit of slippage there. Hope this isn't a whipsaw morning. Jamie, have I got any scalping strategy videos on the website? No. All scalping is price action. So just Google price action. It's candlestick patterns. Yeah. So the reason I'm getting out of these trades, the reason I exited these trades was because of price action. Price action is short. Yeah. We've rejected. We've tried to push. We've made a lower high, rejected. We've tried to push. We've made a lower high or a double top, rejected, exit. Price action. It's pure price action. Whenever you're scalping, you can't just, there is no other way of trading when at scalping on M5 but price action. There is no strategy. It's purely discretionary. Anybody that tries to teach you a strategy on lower time frames is kind of, it's wasting the time, because it's down to you. Do you want to go long or short here? You've got a 50-50 shot of it working out. It's all about risk management. I exited those trades because I didn't like the look of it. That's it. That is strategy. There's not, you can, I mean, basically, if you want to use a strategy, use the Price Action Toolkit. If you haven't got the Price Action Toolkit, won't put it on there now, but that prints candlestick patterns on your chart for you and tells you, and it will auto trade them as well if you want to use the Price Action Toolkit. All the info's on the website. But that will, there's a video on there explaining Price Action Toolkit, and in there I talk about all the candlestick patterns. So I guess that is kind of training, but all this does is it draws the candlestick patterns on your chart. So it shows you when there's strong close candles. It will give you a basic opening range breakout, long wick candles, double tops, double bottoms, bearish engulfings, bullish engulfings, just price action, inventory retracement bars, your standard price action candlesticks. Short 3. Come on, Dax, don't be a whippy one. Brilliant. Close those at a loss. I haven't quite triggered on the other account at the moment on those shorts. Whippy today. Good job I did close those. Okay, back up inside the range again. Opening range. God, whippy. So yeah, just there's not really a lot you can learn about scalping, really, strategy-wise, but Google is your friend. YouTube. The best way to scalp, in my opinion, is double tops and double bottoms. So Swiss yen, you're always going to find, so the Swiss yen, if you drop down to M5, you'll get some price action at double tops and double bottoms. You can also use the market reverse. I mean, there's people that scalp using the market reverse alerts indicator on M1. So you take a short there. This is retesting at the moment. So enter short there. You can use that. But I mean, again, this is just price action. This is just market structure price action. But scalping is totally discretionary, in my opinion. You get in. Why is that not placing? Have I got? Why are we not taking additional orders? Pendings, close. What? Do you know what? I'm having problems with this ORBEA on this MT4. Only this MT4 for some reason. And I don't know what it is. I think I've got a problem with this MT4 for some reason. It just doesn't like placing additional orders, and I don't know what it is. I'm wondering if it's something to do with my P&L. Ah, yes, that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. Damn. Of course it is. It's so obviously because I'm using this for position trading as well. It takes into account your open P&L and your closed P&L. That was over 2.5K, which is why it didn't place those additional orders. That's annoying. I need to make sure I save that. Right, so I've reset for the 15-minute ORB long. But I could do a video on scalping strategy, but I think you'll find there's loads of it out there. Just I've never really searched, to be honest. But if you find there isn't, Jamie, let me know, and I'll do a video on it. But to me, what scalping is about is using price action, using wicks to determine whether or not there's buyers or sellers in the market. So the reason, like I said, the reason I got out of that trade long was because of these wicks. Yeah, these sellers are fully in control here. We tried to push, the buyers pushed back, or the sellers pushed back. The buyers then tried to continue the move. The sellers said no. We got down to there. The buyers then tried to push again. The sellers said no. Yeah. Then the sellers puked. The buyers puked their orders. The sellers took them. Then the buyers stepped back in and pushed back up again. So now we're going long. So the reason I sort of think that you can't teach somebody a specific strategy is because it is discretionary in the fact that how you read a candlestick pattern is going to be different to how someone else reads a candlestick pattern. When you react to what a candlestick pattern is telling you is going to be different to somebody else. So I can teach you strategy. I mean, opening range breakout strategy is a scalping strategy in effect, but it's based on a long-term edge rather than a quick in and out. Yeah. So, you know, a lot of people will be watching this now thinking we're not pushing any higher. One thing I would say is you always need to be aware of where you're going with a scalp. So when you're looking at price action and you are like I am long here, I'm always thinking, where are we going? There's a high there, there's a high there, and there's a propulsion gap there. So if I'm scalping, I'm always thinking, right, where are the sellers going to step in next? Where are we going to hit the next roadblock or block of orders, basically, which is what you would see if you're in the futures market? Where is it? It's there at the moment, or potentially it's there because we tried to push there and the sellers took control. There is also that area there, which was the high from Friday. So you just got to look for levels in the market, and that is where you take your orders or exit your orders. But again, that's discretionary. Some people might go, well, I'm not going to pay attention to that. That's what I would pay attention to, or I'm not paying attention to either of those. I'm paying attention to that. You know, so it's something you get in and you get out. But the thing that I would focus on is your P&L. If you want to make $500 to $1,000 a day scalping, as you've seen this morning, I had an opportunity to take 2K out of the market this morning. I didn't because I'm going for a runner. But if I'm happy to take $500 to $1,000 a day out of the market, stop when you get there. And that's the thing that people struggle with when they're scalping, and I struggle with it, is stopping. I got up to 4K in profit on Friday. I ended up with $500. Admittedly, I did 2% or 2 grand's worth of drawdown control, but I scalped my way back out of 2 grand's worth of that money as well. You know, it's stopping. And the problem with scalping is it's the get, like you just said, Jamie just said, it's the get rich quick videos. They teach you, they try and teach you to get in, get out fast and make a load of money. Yes, you're going to have days like that. I've had 10 grand days multiple times. I've also had losses of a similar level because you get frustrated with it, which is why I think scalping is best on prop, because you don't do it with your money. But strategy is very difficult. But you know, it's all about reading price action. Yeah. So inside bars, you know, like low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. We don't want to do anything but buy at the moment. Yeah. If this now draws on the next candle in inside bar, I'll be pending to go long. Why? Because we're long at the moment. The market is pushing long. Go with the flow. Always go with the flow. People that I think lose a lot of money scalping are the people that are trying to catch the tops and the bottoms. This thing will keep going. If you're getting into a trend day now, if this is going to turn into a trend day today, and we're going to trend to ADR or 125% of ADR, you could try to get in this 10 times and get killed 10 times. If you press the buy button once here, you could ride this for an ADR and add to it as it goes. So you just always go with the market, and you've got to be able to switch direction very, very quickly when you're scalping. Yeah. So I've got a long bias because we've got a long breakout. I've got a massive bearish engulfing going in. Okay, I'm not long anymore. I'm now not anywhere because it pushed up long and now it's done that. So that's telling me that there is actually no directional bias whatsoever, because that has cancelled that out and I've got no idea where we're going. So I'll wait. What happened next? We had a big bear candle. Okay, right. Looks like we want to go short. Go short. No, hang on. The buyers are back in control. Flip long. You've got to be able to dynamically switch. And all that flicks that switch for you is this. It's price action. So you just need to become really good at reading price action. And candlestick patterns. And market structure. You know, so market structure is God. Yeah. So if it's pushing up to there, yeah, it's likely to pull back to here somewhere. So if you see bullish price action somewhere around here, buy it. That's really all you can do. But I could do a video. I'd need to structure it so that I know I can go through. But there's no rules. You know, this thing at the moment, I'm long on it. It's not looking very bullish, is it? At the minute, buyers and sellers are in equilibrium. No one's in control. But you just have to go with what you can see on the chart, and that is we are making new highs constantly, and we're making higher lows constantly. So until that stops, I'm bullish. That's it. Lots of get rich quick videos on YouTube. Your scalping explanation just now is probably the best I've heard. Yeah. I mean, the wide range bar indicator, I haven't got it on there at the moment, but the WRB indicator is very, very useful for scalping when it's set up nicely. Because it shows you where I normally have this on lavender, don't I? Where are we? Lavender, where are you? Oh, let's go cornflower blue, screw it. Be a bit dark, but yeah, the wide range bar is very, very handy for showing you where these buyers and sellers are. So it just shows you where they are in the market. So we know that when this range broke, this is where the move originated. So if you are on side with these guys and you put your stop behind this area, you know that you've got the banks and institutions that started this move on your side. So you just have to use what you can see and accept the fact that you're going to be wrong a lot of the time. And that's the big psychological issue with scalping, is you are wrong a lot of the time because you're trading chop. Yeah. It doesn't matter how strong this move is. It takes one bank with 200,000 short contracts in the DAX to make this thing go like that. And there's nothing you can do about that. There's a lot of luck involved in whether or not you get a trend day, a chop day. If you go into a rotation day and you're not selling highs and buying lows, you're dead. And that's why I have a max loss of 2.5K. If I lose 2.5K, I'm out, done. I've got it wrong today. You just have to walk away, and then next day I'll make 4. It's very, 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 very discretionary, the whole thing. But you can do this with the Price Action Toolkit as well. If you get the Price Action Toolkit and use the automated trading, you can trade all of the candlestick patterns, and you can see how profitable they all are. And you'll find out that they are all around about 50%. Every bullish engulfing and bearish engulfing that I can show you on a chart that works, I can show you a version where it doesn't. That's not a bullish engulfing, a bearish engulfing. But, every one of those that works for one candle, there's a version of it where it doesn't work for one candle. Every long wick candle that works, I can show you 2 or 3 others that don't work. You take it, you put the risk on, and you get out at some point. But where you get out is going to be totally discretionary. You can't use a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio if there isn't a possibility of it moving to R in your favor. If the next resistance is 1R away, you take a 1R. You take it, you put it in the bank because it's money. And the way that the best days I have scalping are when I get in and I get it right 3-4 times on the trot, and the market goes and I get nice trades, and that's it, I'm done. My most profitable trades are in and out in 10 minutes, done. All the days I look at in my P&L where I'm in there for the whole morning, they're break even or lost sessions because I'm fighting the market. And you literally just have to wait for the days where it gives you the money. And you don't know when they're going to be. Like today, it's just not giving us the money today. It might do, we get 3 candles like that in a row now, happy days, I'm done. But you can't tell at the moment. There's no directional bias at all, is there? So yen's obviously up to you on these. They're still pushing at the moment. And we'll have a look at the RSIs in a minute. Let me just quickly cover the news because obviously we haven't done this yet. CPIs we had this morning, so that's positive for the Swiss franc. This is only the month on month, but it is bullish, so that's good for the Swissy. News this week, we've got a lot of news this week. Last week was crap. We had nothing. We did have news, but it was all talking heads and nothing exciting. So we've actually got some news this week. So we got the claimant counts tomorrow morning for the pound. We've got US dollar CPI. So the big one tomorrow is the CPI figures. So this is going to be the real gauge. We're going to get a lot of info out of the Fed after this number comes out. Morning, Shroud. Morning, Freeman. And we'll see basically whether or not this is going to make the Fed bullish or bearish moving forward. The CPI figures are what drives inflation. Obviously what the inflation figures are, and that drives our interest rates. So if these figures come out as negative, as they're expected, so if inflation is going down, that takes the pressure off the Fed. However, because the unemployment figures went down, that also means that the Fed can increase its interest rates more safely without affecting inflation dramatically or unemployment dramatically. So there is an argument for the Fed to actually keep pushing their interest rates. However, over the weekend, we had Harker coming out saying that they're definitely not going to go for the 0.5%, which I wasn't expecting anyway. But he's also saying that we don't need to keep raising rates at the same rate we were. So if you look at the last rate that we had from the Fed, That was a 0.25. Yeah. Now, we only go in 0.25s and 0.5s. So what Harker is basically saying is we're definitely not going to do 0.5s, and potentially we may not need to do 0.25s. So there are some out there, like the Aussies, who go in 0.15 increments. So there is an option to do that. However, the Fed just don't normally do that. So so this is going to be a really important figure tomorrow, and I would expect to see some very big movement off of the US, one way or the other. I would expect it to be bullish. So assuming we're going to get these figures, if this comes out different, obviously, then yeah, we might have a bear move on our hands. But I think we're going to see some strength off of the US tomorrow. So at the moment, I've got exposure. I haven't got any US exposure on at the minute. Blimey. Oh, yes, because I got out my pound US dollar, didn't I? Okay. Yeah, so I haven't got any US exposure. I'll have a look at some in a minute. But so yeah, potential bull move tomorrow on the US. We've got low speaking for the Aussie on Wednesday morning. Then we've got the inflation figures again for the pound. We're expecting to come down by 0.2 year on year. We're not very good. We're not very good with our inflation figures, as you can see. It's the worst in the world at the moment. I don't think, even if that does come out as a 10.3, that it's going to be particularly bullish for the pound. We might see a bit of a spike in the pound when that figure comes out, as expected. But then I think we'll probably find it will wane. So if we do get any spikes on the pound on Wednesday morning, I think they're really good fade opportunities. Unless, of course, that comes out as something stupid like 9.8 or something. If it's a big difference, then yes, that might be bullish pound. But even if, the thing you've got to remember with these inflation figures, 10.3 coming down from 10.5 is good, but when you've got a target of 2 and you're sitting at 10.5, even if this comes down to 9.5, that would be seen as very bullish. However, you're still 7.5 away from where you should be, which is 2%. Everybody's target is always 2%, and everybody is absolutely miles away. So I don't think there's any real question that if that comes down to a 10.3, it's going to be bearish long term. So we got that to look forward to on Wednesday morning, and that's pre-market open. We've got the Euro economic forecast, and then we've got retail sales for the US on Wednesday afternoon, pre-market again. We've got Lagarde speaking as well. Aussie dollar unemployment, again, massive figure. Unemployment, very important for inflation and interest rates. So we've got that coming out on Thursday morning for the Aussie. We've got the PPIs then for the afternoon on Thursday. Low speaking again, and then we've got retail on Friday. So there's no news Friday. So it all very much hinges around Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. And a lot of US. Every single day we've got major US news. We've got CPI, followed by retail, followed by PPI. So big week for the US dollar this week. And I've got no exposure on it at the moment. So I need to get some exposure on. Stopped out on the Dax. So just stopped out on that one as well. Tricky morning this morning. Buying up with that propulsion. Okay, I'm going to get in one more long on the Dax. This is the 15-minute. Have another go at the 15-minute break. But yeah, not got any legs this morning, have we? Seymour, I'm working on scalping strategy that's showing promising early results, but so much testing to do. Currently working through different settings, but so far achieved 70% win rate with 1.5% profit factor. Have you got an EA built for that, Seymour? If not, you can send it through the form on the website. If you want me to build you an EA, that will speed up your testing. Long Dax again. Right. So over the weekend news, not an awful lot apart from Harker going on about rate increases. Expect unemployment rate in the United States to peak at 4.5 before declining. So unemployment at the moment is sitting at 3.4. So they are expecting unemployment to go up. Yeah, there's a page on the website, Seymour, here. Look, got a strategy, need an EA coded. If you go there and fill out the form, you need to provide all this information. But I'll build you an EA for it. 125 on New Zealand dollar yen. Okay, so there's a good example of propulsion gap in play. So accumulation, break of the high. That's where the move originated, and that's where the buyers are adding their positions. So we should see a test of the high if that propulsion gap is going to hold. And again, this is all like, you know, again, this is price action. Yeah. Yeah. So higher high, higher low. Now we've made a lower high and a lower low. Now we're making a higher low. If this makes a higher high, this is basically a pullback long. It's just market structure, pullback. Yeah. So again, it's all just price action. However, this adds a little extra dimension in the fact that this is where you know the orders are placed, which obviously helps with your entries, basically. Right. So that's news. There was some more news. I was all Harker again. Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, that's just the elections. That was it news-wise. Right. So, but again, you know, you can see that there is a lot of sellers in the market at the minute. The buyers rallied really hard there to get that high, and again got pushed back down. So these are the days where you need to sit on the sidelines and go, this ain't working today, or you need to be scalping into candle, which is just ridiculously risky, but people do it. Very, very difficult when you've got such little movement going on. RSIs. So CAD yen is an RSI extension on the 4. Sorry, on the hourly, rather. Again, we've got a massively weak yen this morning, so we're extended on the hourly. CAD yen overall is range bound. There's no bias on COT, not that we've got the new COT figures yet. There's no bias on retail. There's no bias fundamentally in either direction. So this one you can take in either way at the moment. So we're up at the highs. We've got 2 levels to concentrate on, one where we are at the moment, another one there. So this whole area here, just under ADR, is where I would look for a pullback, somewhere back down into this area here. So nice looking short opportunity on CAD yen at the moment. Whoops, 4 hour. Same picture basically, isn't it? But this is the same picture as all the other yens at the moment. Yeah, we had obviously the big strong move, and since then all we're doing literally is going sideways. So you know, your job is to look at this and go, right, well, this is obviously previous support. We smashed through it. It's turned into resistance. If we're going to hold this range, this is where we're going to do it from. So you want to be getting in short. If that doesn't hold this area here, and we're going to push up, we're exhausted on the 4 hour. So you've got the hourly already exhausted. By the time this pushes up further, if it gets through this area here, you're going to be exhausted on the 4 hour, and it's going to be ready to pull back anyway. So still good looking short opportunity on the CAD yen. So look at that one. New Zealand dollar yen, same story. We're in no man's land a little bit here, though. If you look on the hourly, we've got this resistance potentially coming up. There's lots of resistance levels on this potentially coming up. back up into our zone, which we highlighted previously for the short. So we shorted it out of there. Somewhere in here, if we get to 150 ADR, that would be a nice looking short opportunity. But you've got to ask yourself why this yen is so weak today. Just price action by the looks of things. There's not been any yen news really to weaken the market at all. There's your yen all the way down there. However, currency strength, there you go, there's your New Zealand all the way up there. So New Zealand is the strongest currency at the moment. Yen is the weakest. That's why we've got the biggest move, obviously, on this. That is why you use currency strength. The whole purpose of using a currency strength meter is to find mean reversion. There's no point in using it to tell you what's strong and what's weak. You can tell that by looking at the chart. What you want to do is use this for mean reversion opportunities. So when things do that, they then do that, which means that the yen will strengthen and the New Zealand will weaken. When that happens, you get a mean reversion. Aussie dollar yen, ADR. So this is looking good for a potential reversion. M5 reversal alert. I'm in the wrong VPS. Oh, I'm hedged on this one, look. That's annoying. I've got the wrong VPS. I need my other VPS. I can only connect one at a time. I was just going to say I was going to put a trade on this. I like that short New Zealand yen. I'm just going to monitor that. New Zealand yen at the moment is a buy, a strong buy, mainly because you've got retail and COT on side at the moment. Other than that, the fundamentals are pretty flat on it. So at the minute, it's a buy, but it is very, very nicely extended. Look how high we are on the RSI in the 5 minute. We're absolutely skyward. Hourly, we're coming up into potential resistance right now. And failing that, we're going to hit a second resistance. We're right up at these highs. So again, looking back, this is kind of where we are at the moment. If we get another leg, we'll then get the pullback. So if you get in and we don't get the pullback today back down to here, you'll get the pullback at some point tomorrow at those highs through a short. So it's either an ADR today or it will come down in the next couple of days. We are kind of more in the middle of nowhere at the moment on this one. But at the moment, retail is completely the wrong side on it. Oh no, it's neutral. Am I looking at the right one? It's yen dollar yen. Retail +2. Is this not updated because COT hasn't updated? Right, okay. Yeah, my bias scorecard isn't updating because we haven't got the new COT. It doesn't run until COTs run. That's why. This is a problem my end I need to fix. This isn't updated because it needs this figure to come through to update. How can I fix that? 1 sec. Let me just open that over here and see if I can refresh that manually. So that's main scorecard, isn't it? Whoops. No, it's not updating. I'm going to need to update that manually. Just remove that and do that to see if that works. Maybe 1 sec while I'm doing technical stuff. Tables, retail. I got a problem with the retail sentiment as well for some reason. So this is gonna have to ignore this for a second. I'm gonna have to do some work on this. This COT being delayed is when I built all this. Everything happens in order, happens in a sequence. What I haven't accounted for is COT not being released, and it's screwed up the sentiment basically. It's not going to get the data correctly. From here. Yeah, see, this is all screwed now. New Zealand dollar yen's gone. Right. Ignore this for the moment. I'm going to have to fix this. Hadn't thought of CFTC screwing everything up. It's actually not CFTC's fault. It's some kind of virus they've had. But oh, wow, that's really screwed, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, scrap that. Right. So yeah, so I do like that. The actual sentiment on that is actually not right. So we've got big moves going on the New Zealand dollar still. So pound New Zealand and New Zealand CAD are both getting into nice profit. Give me 1 second. Just going to stick a trailer on this one just to bank some of that. And same with the pound New Zealand. 7.5. Just going to trail it. Likely to start pullback here. If you look how exhausted we are on the 15-minute, we're down into single digits on the RSI. This thing's exhausted off the New Zealand dollar move. So I'm just going to bank those two, and obviously I'll add them back on again if it pulls back. So that one there, take that one off. If it pulls back, I'll get in another position next time it reverses. Dax is moving nicely out the highs. So profits locked in on that. Break even. Right. So RSIs, those are the only two we've got on the hourlies. 4 hourly, we've got Euro CAD. If anybody's got any pairs they want to look at, let me know and I'll run through them. Euro CAD, very, very nicely extended on the 4 hour. We had that big drop. So good possibility of a pullback into this propulsion gap all the way back up there. Also, you got this support there as well. So I like the euro long, definitely. The Canadian dollar is going to power up along with the US dollar. So CPI figures this week are going to decide really what happens with the US dollar moving forward. If we get strength on the US dollar, we'll get strength on the CAD as well. So potential here for a good move this week on the CAD. However, it looks like it's already kind of done it. Is this euro weakness we're seeing this morning? No, it's not the euro. So this is just that Canadian dollar move, isn't it? We'll have a look at gold and euro pound. We'll have a look at those in a sec. Yeah. So that one basically coming down into potential support. If this breaks, you've got nothing really much until you're getting down into this area here. So you're looking at sort of a good couple of ADR drop to the downside back into that propulsion gap here that started that move. So there's a long way to go if this potential support doesn't hold at the 72 moving average. So very, very nicely extended though, and like the look of a pullback on this. We've got the news isn't coming out for 2 days. So we've got plenty of time for the Canadian dollar to have a little bit of a weak spell, plenty of time for the euro to pump. We've got the economic forecasts for the euro coming on Wednesday morning ahead of the retail sales. But we've got obviously CPI coming tomorrow. So actually, we've only got until tomorrow really for that move to happen. So if you're going to get onto this one, you need to basically be in and out really today. But it is a very, very, very nice extension, although it seems to be coming down again. So there's your target. Yeah, which is that break there. So the seller's powered through that level. Likely it's going to come back up and test that at some point. So it looks like a good potential long opportunity. Nice extension on the 4 hour. The other as you've got extended on the 4 hour are Euro US. So only the two. Again, same story with the US dollar. If the US dollar is going to power up, obviously this is coming back down again. This is the propulsion move that broke that high. So I suspect we'll be coming down into here, testing the 72 moving average. But, you know, the question is the US dollar going to power up? And is this a leg continuation, a downward leg continuation? Or is the euro going to beat the US dollar moving forward? We don't know. So again, all going to hinge really on what happens with these CPI figures. The Fed are certainly looking like they can take their foot off the gas, aren't they? So if they're going to do that, we need to be aware that we might see some serious strength coming through from the US dollar. If these CPI figures come down, I get the feeling we're going to get some good continuation strength on that US, which means this will be coming down. However, the euro is also very strong at the moment. So tricky one to trade the euro US. Could go either way. US dollar Swiss, you want to have a look at? So US dollar Swiss, you just had a reversal alert long on this and a retest. So again, US dollar. So we came down and we tapped into that support. So that was this level here. Yeah. So this is a previous level that's held up a few times, but most recently that double bottom. So we came in there, we tapped it, we came and swept it, and now we've pushed back up again. So good strength on the US at the minute. Daily reversal alert will go in on the next push up, and the 4 hour you've had it, and a retest. So there's your W. We need to break these highs, but I like it as a long at the moment. US dollar Swiss. You're looking to short US dollar Swiss. Yeah, if you want to short it, short it. I can't see any reason to short it, but if you want to short it, short it. What's your reason for shorting it? I mean, you could be playing the double top, but you've missed that. It's played out already. I'm basing my moves purely on fundamentals, though. So, you know, I'm not looking at technicals on this. I'm looking at fundamentals. So it's a short based on the last reversal alert, but we are actually only in a range, which is why you've got a reverse alert followed by a reverse alert, because we're just literally doing that. If we had market structure in place, you'd have seen that sort of move, wouldn't you? So not really going anywhere at the moment, but it really, you know, as I say, with everything at the minute, it's all being driven by interest rates. The market is driven at the moment by interest rates and interest rates alone. And CPI figures are what drives interest rates, and unemployment drives interest rates. So when these figures come out, they will forecast what the interest rate moves will be, and that is where we will see some, you know, strength or weakness coming through in that dollar. So right now, it's difficult to forecast, isn't it? Where we are here. If you're looking to short it, tomorrow you might be right. You might be wrong. I don't know. All depends what happens with CPI. But I'm just bullish on the US. I'm also fairly bullish on the Swiss as well, though. So it's a tricky one. But there's no RSI extensions. There's no reason really to look at any entries on this from here, unless you're obviously just playing that move, which is fine. That could work out quite easily, couldn't it? But then again, so could that. You know, you're bang in the middle of this area. So you've got a 50-50 shot of it going up or down from there, haven't you? Difficult. Euro pound. So euro pound, I'm long at the minute. I've got 3 positions long on euro pound. Nice pullback to the 24. Did some drawdown control on this one on Friday. So looking for market structure, basically to continue long. Pound is weak. No reason why we should be looking for shorts on anything against the pound. We're strong on the euro. So Dax is off. So there's your opening range break. The 15-minute was the one to take today. Or the 15, you would have got stopped out in 15, as you saw I did as well. That's nicely moving. Nice profit all round this morning. I've got 350 locked in. I'll just keep trailing that, see if we can get a nice big rally off of it, but it looks like it's going to pull back from there. Oh, sorry, what was I doing? Yeah, so euro pound, I'm long at the moment. Based on fundamentals, euro is a long, pound is a short. Looking to get in on pullbacks. Yeah, so this was a 4-hour RSI extension. I originally got in on the hourly RSI extension here. No, why did I get in there? I can't remember why I got in there. Oh, I think this was a sentiment trade, wasn't it? It was an ADR. I think this was a sentiment trade. So yeah, but I'm long fundamentally on it as well. So I like it as a long. At the moment, though, the euro is a little weak. So looks like we're starting to potentially come out. We haven't had a bearish London. We've had 2 bearish Londons on the trot, or 3 bearish Londons really on the trot. So we're not having a bearish London at the moment, which is good. So just waiting for that sort of pullback, either up into here or up into there. But eventually, I see this going long all the way up to the top. So just a continuation. But, you know, it's a very low ADR pair, this one, and it's always very range bound because euro and pound are very close trade partners. So I would expect this to go in both directions, really. You can kind of take any trade you like on this, and you're almost guaranteed it's going to play out. Yeah, if you short the highs, you're fine. If you long the lows, you're fine because it's range bound. And it usually is. However, at the moment, I would say you want to be more looking at a slight up channel because of the fundamentals on the euro being stronger than the pound. But again, this can all change. You know, as I say, everything is at the moment is being driven by the core fundamentals. So your CPI figures, your unemployment figures, retail sales will play a part as well. But we've got CPI for the pound tomorrow. If that comes out really, really low, sort of under 10, there's a chance they might start looking at the pound a little bit more favorably again. But also they are looking at the euro very favorably, aren't they? So we'll see. Gold. Gold is driven by US. So what's your bias on the US dollar? If it's long, you want to be shorting gold. Yeah. So when I got into gold, my bias was the opposite. So I got in basically on this pullback. Yeah, expecting a retest of that propulsion move. Unfortunately, what we got was unemployment figures way better than anybody could have ever imagined for the US dollar, based on how high the inflation and the interest rates have gone. So we got a fundamental shift. I got caught the wrong side of it. I dug myself out on Friday. So at the moment, I would have to say that, but I wouldn't want to take it from there. I'd want to wait for it to pull back into this propulsion move. Again, if it can, if not into that propulsion move there. So I'd be looking for that sort of move or that sort of move. I'm not going to short it from here. It's too low. But it could, it could just come out. I don't know. Again, CPI tomorrow. If this thing just goes sideways tomorrow, CPI figures come out massively positive for the US, it's just going to do that again. If they come out massively negative for the US, it's going to do that. But your long-term bias on the US dollar is what you want to be focusing on. For me, I think the bias is potentially long at the moment. So end of this move. And again, it's same with all these US dollar pairs where we've had all this US dollar weakness. Yeah, look at the bigger scheme of, the grand scheme of things at the moment. This is the world's currency. It has just announced the fact that we're not going to go into a recession. It's all massively bullish. It's been massively bearish for it for ages and ages and ages. And now the market seems to be a lot more bullish on it. But it seems that the market can also shift very quickly its bias at the moment. One wrong move from the US dollar and it will go the wrong way. So pound US dollar. So pound US dollar, I'm short. I'm not anymore. I got out on Friday. I was short. I had two positions on this, one there and one there. I got out of both of those on Friday. So I'm looking for short opportunities on it. So RSI extensions to the upside. So that one I got in there. That one I got in there. Got out both of those on the pullbacks. So I'll be waiting for an RSI extension to the upside to short it. You could play a short from that propulsion gap. This is the propulsion gap that we're testing at the moment on the higher time frames. So it's that one there. Again, that's your unemployment figures for the US. That was FOMC. Sorry, that was FOMC. So yeah, I'm bearish on it. Pound bearish, everything pound, basically. Again, weak pullback. Continuation. So looking for shorts. 4-hour RSI extensions, I don't think you'll get one. I don't think there's going to be enough strength in the pound to push anywhere near that. So you'd be concentrating more on the hourly charts, looking for ADR hits. Yesterday's high sweeps, previous day's high sweeps for shorts. So, just wait for a push on it. Drop down to M5. Wait for a reversal alert. Getting short. So wait for a push up to here. Maybe up in here. This is your, looking at this on the M5 chart, if you're looking for entries, that's your aggressive short. That's your safe short. That's your really safe short. Yeah, one of those three. If you're going to position trade this, that's your first entry, second entry, third entry, then wait for the move. By the time you get up to here, on the hourly RSI, you will be extended. By the time it's got anywhere near there, that will be extended, ready for a profit take move. But market structure, obviously, we're looking for a continuation. However, obviously, the buyers have stepped in as well. So it's a battle between the buyers and the sellers right now, this area here. And again, it's going to be driven by CPI. It's all about CPI. Outro, 1 BE and 1 L on Dax this morning. Nice. I'm still in my long. No, I'm not. I'm out of my long. So I've just got out of my long. I'm still in it on that one. Still in 2 on that one. Out on that one as well. Still trailing these two. So I'm going to bank another 500, 600 there. So at least we go positive for the day. What exactly is a propulsion gap? So a propulsion gap basically is a strong move. So this is a propulsion candle. Yeah, so you know the terminology propulsion candle. This is all baby pip stuff. So, you know, this is just Forex 101. Yeah, candlestick patterns, bullish candle, bearish candle, hammer, shooting stars, that sort of stuff. Yeah. That's a propulsion candle. And all a propulsion candle is a fast move in one direction. And what a fast move in one direction tends to do is 2 things. First, it catches a lot of algorithms from institutions on the wrong side who are trying to exit positions. So within this propulsion candle, you will have thousands of algorithmic transactions happening. Yeah. So what this tells us is that this is where the sellers started to make their move. Yeah. In here will be a lot of buyers, algorithmic buyers, who are caught the wrong side. So they will be buying with a view to getting out on 1 or 2 or 3 ticks higher. But what will happen is the volume of orders that comes through pushes them down and they get caught offside. So what they do then is tend to push price back into that area. At that point, the sellers add to their positions. So think of yourself as getting short with these guys and price moving down. Yeah. You haven't had a chance to take profit because your TP is down here somewhere and price pushes back. What they do is they add more size into their position to drive price back down in the direction they want it to go. So there's 2 ways to use propulsion gaps. First is after a propulsion gap is formed and you push away from it, use it as a target because virtually all the time we push back into them. Secondly, you can use it as an entry because we know that if that move is strong enough that started the propulsion move and there's still sellers on board, they will add into their positions here and drive it back down out of that price. So one here, for example, there on Friday, if we push back up into that propulsion gap, there's a high probability you're going to find a push back out of it. That's all it is. All it is a move. It's called a wide range bar, propulsion candle, whatever you want to call it. ICT calls these FBGs. Yeah, it's all the same stuff, but it was created by a guy 25 years ago who called it a wide range bar. I just call them propulsion gaps because I've just had it embedded into my brain over the years. When I did price action, this is called a propulsion candle. And this is the gap caused by that propulsion candle. So if you get a propulsion candle like this one here, yeah, this is a propulsion candle as well, right? But price moves back down, okay? There is no propulsion gap. A propulsion gap is caused by price moving up, the next candle coming down and not getting, so the low of this wick and the high of that wick, so where this propulsion gap broke the previous high, if this next candle does not come down and touch this wick or engulf this candle, that is the gap. the propulsion gap. And this is the void basically where there are orphaned orders by sellers and there is a large volume of buying activity because they just bought up every single sell order. This is where the gaps is where you find people add to their charts. So we had one this morning on the Dax, yeah? Here, we had a propulsion move. So there's the highs. There's the high of that candle. We had a propulsion move which broke these highs. So a propulsion gap should have an accumulation before it and a breakout. So it's a breakout move, yeah? This is where the move started and originated. And the sellers tried to push back down and the buyers went, no, we want to go long. And they pushed back out of that area. They started to add. So they went long 100,000 contracts. 250,000 contracts came back against them. They went, no, we're long. Here's another 250,000 contracts to counter your 250,000 contracts. It then pushes higher. Everybody that's shorted has their stop orders there. They puke and we flip out and make another propulsion gap long, which is why you find market structure is often formed of propulsion gap, pullback, propulsion gap, pullback, propulsion gap, pullback, because it's buyers adding, sellers trying to counter, buyers adding, sellers trying to counter, buyers adding. That's what makes market structure happen. So propulsion gaps are just part of market structure. Accumulation, break, add, push. Yeah. Impulse candles. There you go. Yeah, outro. Yeah. So it's the same as an impulse. Call it what you like. I mean, it's the same thing. It's just yeah, impulse. Some people call them impulse candles, propulsion candles. You know, they're just wide range bars. It's all the same thing. It's a large move in the market. But you can use them in many ways. There's all, you know, again, when you're scalping, it's all discretionary. Look, how you use these is entirely up to you. But when you're scalping on low time frames, I mean, this is the hourly chart, so this isn't a scalp. But what I would be looking for now is if I had, for example, played that long here, I would be looking for where we're going. So, you know, and this is why I say when you're looking at every trade you get into, the first thing you should do when you enter a trade is think, where are we going? Because if you don't know where this is going, you can't get into the trade because you've got to be able to calculate whether it's worth taking the trade. So this low here, that line, yeah, we came back down, we took that low out and we rejected it and pushed up. So I would say, right, excellent, let's go long. So my first question is, if I'm going long and I'm going to put a stop loss somewhere about there, where are we heading? So there's two places we're heading. We're either heading to the open of the day or we're heading up to where the last sell order happened. So the last sell push started here. So if I'm long here, there's my stop, there's my reward, right? And this is why I say to people, you know, you can get an amazing strategy that has a 50% strike rate with a 1.5R return. That is a brilliant strategy, and that will play out very nicely a lot of the time. A strategy, when someone comes to you and says, I've got a strategy with a 50% strike rate and a 5-to-1 risk reward ratio, those are the ones you want to avoid. Because if I need to get a 5-to-1 risk reward ratio on this trade now, I'm going to need to target there somewhere, aren't I? Right? I've got a whacking great busload of sell orders in my way. So it's likely that this is going to push there, but it's very highly likely it's going to reject there. So my target should be here somewhere. 50% of that move probably would be my maximum, but to be safe, go for the low of it. Because you'll also find that these propulsion gaps are what? Resistance. Why? Because a propulsion gap is a move that is a breakout of a previous level. So there is your support, there is your breakout. So support becomes resistance. So propulsion gaps drawn on your chart are 90% of the time a previous support or resistance level. So it just helps you to see all of that. That's a bit of a big one because that was a news event. But if you look at older ones, So I can see if there's a breakdown of, there isn't a breakdown of that level. So this one here, for example, this propulsion move down. Again, this is probably a news event, but you got 3 wicks there. Yeah, those 3 wicks, those wicks there, they form a range. The propulsion move was a breakout of that level. So you know that the high of that wide range bar is a potential resistance, because that's where we pushed into, became support 3 times for 3 hours. That was a support level. They finally broke it. So the chances are when we get back up to there, there's going to be selling pressure. Here, look. Support, 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 propulsion gap, break, resistance, 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 push. Yeah, the propulsion gap shows you where that support and resistance is placed. Resistance, 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 resistance. Because there's a ton of people selling in here. They're not letting this price back up, because if this gets above that level, they lose money. Their interest is shorting this. So the bigger the propulsion gap, the more respected it tends to be. Look at this one here. It's old, but where did the buyers step in? Yeah. Accumulation. Break. Sell. Sell. Because the guys that shorted this added. They didn't get far enough to take a profit, probably targeting down here, so they added again. Doesn't mean they're going to win. And in this case, they didn't. They lost because a news event took them out. Again, you can't, you know, someone said in the group the other day about the retail sentiment being no good. You know, it doesn't work. Look at the Canadian dollar. It smashed. Retail sentiment said it was going the other way. The Canadian dollar went completely the opposite direction. It's like, well, yeah, because it's a news event. News has got nothing to do with retail sentiment or anything. It doesn't matter whether the central banks are positioned long. If that news comes out the opposite direction, the central banks will lose money. They don't often do that, but you know, news events that are caused by propulsion gaps tell you that the market shifted direction. A lot of short orders were added. So if they're adding a lot of short orders, when they come back there, high probability they're going to add into those short orders because they've only just started to move. Think about it from your perspective as a trader. Yeah. If you hit the short button there and price came back up, you haven't made any money yet, have you? So if you're a bank where, you know, banks trade in the same way as I do, they build positions. They don't go, let's go short with a stop loss of X. Oh dear, we got taken out for 25 million. They build a position. That's what they're doing with these propulsion moves. There's our large dump. So we've dumped 100,000 contracts short. Price is coming back. Okay, add another 50. Okay, price is coming back. Add another 50. Price is coming back. Add another 100. All right, we're 500,000 contracts short now. They're coming back again. Add another 50. Bang. And as long as there's not a bank in the other direction, and there won't be because the banks aren't stupid. Do you think a bank's going to want to fight a move like that where you've got a fundamental come out that said you should be going long on the US dollar? None of the banks are going to go, well, let's short it. Yeah, they pay attention to fundamentals. It's what drives their decisions. Their scorecard drives their decisions. So they're all going to be on the same direction. This is idiots. Retail fighting back. And again, retail sentiment will be the opposite way usually, a lot of the time. That's why we pay attention to it. So that's basically how they work. But, you know, again, you get a propulsion move like that. If it's too weak and there's not enough buyers, then it will get run over. Yeah, that one there got run over eventually. But the bigger the gap, the stronger it tends to be. Because there's more orders there. There's more orders pushing the market. But there's all sorts of, you know, theories as to what goes on under the hood. But the thing is, it's just an area highlighted on your chart that you need to pay attention to. Like support and resistance, which people also call supply and demand. This propulsion gap here was tested multiple times. So all your supply and demand traders are going, oh, look, supply is triggering. I'm saying resistance is triggering. Other people are saying the wide range bar is triggering. Doesn't matter. It's all the same stuff. You call it what you like. It's a level where price has previously reacted. That's what you pay attention to. Price action at support and resistance levels. That's it. And that's the same with scalping. You pay attention to price action at support and resistance levels. This is a support level because it was a propulsion move that is likely to find buyers. It's just a support level. So if this comes back down to here, you'll probably find a bounce. You may not. It may be a case of the guys that entered here short term are out because these are speculative buyers. They might be out now. We don't know. We'll find out when they get here. Again, your odds are the same, 50-50. When it gets here and it reacts, it's either going to go or it's not. At that point, when I got in, I had no clue whether that was going to go up or down. I knew what was likely happening, but I don't know whether there's a guy sitting there with 100,000 contracts to go short and drop it. And it's out of your control. So you don't need to know, really, do you? Just need to get on with it. Curious, have you ever tested once price closes inside the gap, the probability of it reaching the other side of the gap? No, don't think so. I've tested strategies on this. I've got an EA that trades wide range bars. I haven't got it in here. I built an EA to trade these, and it's great some of the time. Other times it's not. And I've tested candle entries. So this one, for example, here, I've tested that as a candle entry. Basically, the low of the bar being violated and then it closing back above the high as an entry. I've tested that as an entry, whereas we pierce the high and we enter. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's the same as anything. It will work sometimes and sometimes it won't. And it doesn't matter. If you'd have just taken a bullish engulfing or a 3-bar reversal, you'd have still got the same result as if you'd have done that. But the reason the bullish engulfing and the 3-bar reversal happened was because of that. It's much easier to place a stop loss underneath a bullish engulfing or a 3-bar reversal than it is to try and pick whether you should use the bottom of that, the top of that, the middle of that. Price reacts at levels. But all that does is it helps you see the levels. It helps draw them on the chart, basically. So there you go. There's a detailed explanation of wide range bars again. I've explained that many times, but they're important because you can see where price is going, see what it's up to, see where the big players are. Again, price action right now looks like a short to me up here. We're running out of gas. That's where we rejected. So sellers stepped in. Since those sellers stepped in there, the buyers have not been able to break through and get a new high in. We've got 3 long wicks to the upside now. So it looks like a good sell. So I'd be placing a sell order underneath that low there, waiting for a drop. So orders have all been cancelled now. We're 1.5 hours into the session. And again, 1.5 hours into the session is where you usually find the high or the low of the day in. So there's a high probability, 90% chance that is either the low of the day or the high of the day. If that's the high of the day, you want to short it. We don't know whether it's the high of the day or not. The only way to find out is to stick a pending under there, stick a stop above the top, take a short. You're going to be right or wrong, aren't you? One or the other. Right, that's all I've got for you this morning. I'll be back this afternoon for the New York session. I need to go and figure out what the hell is going on with the fundamental data. I think that's just fixed itself, actually. Let me just refresh that. There we go. It's all fixed. But New Zealand dollar yen has disappeared for some reason. No, hasn't. It's there. Sorry. 68.32. So that buyer scorecard should now be different for the New Zealand dollar yen. So that should be now 3 and a 2. Yeah, so it's a 1 now. There we go. Need to figure out why that went wrong. Obviously having a funny 5 minutes this morning, but it's all fixed and back to normal now if you want to go and use it. Right, anybody got anything else they want to look at? Let me know. If you want any EAs built, let me know. Or send me your strategies and I'll have a look. So basically pretty much break even this morning at the moment. I'm going to bank the New Zealand dollar CAD in a sec. Pound New Zealand, I've just banked 1. That one. Out of that one. So looking for a pullback basically on this one. Potentially just taking out the low of last Thursday. Might get an ADR on this today, but New Zealand's having a bit of a pullback at the minute. So I will get back into that. That New Zealand dollar CAD is still going though at the moment, but it looks like it's pulling back. So I'm about to get out of that one as well. So I'm going to bank that as well. So that puts me back to basically break even for the day. In market reverse alerts, can you add FBG? No. It's a separate indicator. Wide range bars, you mean? No, it doesn't. I've tested it. It doesn't add any edge at all. I think. There you go. I'm out of that one. New Zealand CAD. So if that pulls back, I'll add that on again. I'm not doing any more development on the market reversal alert CA or indicator. It is what it is. There's lots of strategies out there. You know, like you just said, can I add the wide range bar or the propulsion gap into it? I can, yeah. There's also another 100 things I could add into it, but the idea of the signal indicator is you use it for signals, yeah. So if you're going to use the market reversal alerts dashboard because you want to get reversal alerts, get the reversal alerts, open up the chart, see if it's in a propulsion gap. If it is, take the trade. But you know, the problem with the market reversal alerts EA specifically is I have been asked to add so much into it. It's now virtually impossible to backtest with it because there's too much in there. If I add that in as well, it will now take you, instead of 6 weeks to backtest a month, it will take you 12 weeks to backtest a month. You might as well just trade it in real time. It's just too much. The more you add in, the more it just clogs the system. But I'm not adverse to building new versions of stuff, but it can't be done in the same thing. What I should really do is release 12 or 15 different versions of the reversal alert CA with, this one trades wide range bars, this one trades with RSI, this one trades with ADR, because they would all be much faster and slicker. But then everyone would moan at me going, oh, you're just selling the same product hundreds of times. Like, well, yeah. What do you want? Do you want one that works really slowly and breaks your system? Or do you want 10 that work brilliantly and you just pick the one you want? Well, I want all of them. We'll buy them all then. Well, I can't afford it. All right, well, don't. I can't win, honestly. You never win as when you develop products, because there's always something that somebody wants something added to. And it's like, well, you can't add everything because everybody's got a different way of looking at things. You know, it's designed as a signal indicator. It signals. The condition is, are we inside that? Yeah, this is the same as, is the RSI extended? It's the same thing. Is the moving average above? That's the condition. This is the signal. But I have tested wide range bar strategy with an EA. It might actually be in this one. Just trying to think which my MT4s it's in. It might be in this one. Yes, this WRB test. Oh, can't even remember what it does, to be honest. Yeah, so, oh yeah, this was just a test one. So what I was testing was with this. This is something I knocked up in FX Dreamer, this one. Just a quick test thing. Was to find basically higher time frame bars, wide range bars, and look for price action reversals inside them. But I did so many tests. I couldn't actually find anything that in the end gave a decent, what I would class as a decent edge. This was designed to trade the S&P longs. This isn't going to work in here because it's trading pound US, but oh, this is slow. Can't remember what that one's doing. Blimey, this is an old one. But I'll dig it out and see if I can find the EA and pick it up again, because it is a good. But as I say, you know, you could use RSI in the same way as you use these. By the time it gets up to there, right? It'll be extended on the hourly RSI. So you could use RSI as the same sort of filter. Franco, I was in marketing retail for years. No picnic. Can't please everyone. No. The trouble is, Franco, I try to please everyone. And that's why the market reversal alert CA is so slow, because it's got so much in there. I put so much in there. You know, all I use, as you know, all I use literally in this thing, I use long or short, ADR stop, and RSI, higher time frame RSI filter. That is all I use. That one. Those three things. Everything else you see in here, someone's asked to be added. And it's 45,000 lines of code now. You know, so it's like, can we add the wide range bar in? Yes, we can. But if I add that in, it's going to take me 2 weeks to test, because I haven't got to just test whether the wide range bar functionality works. I've got to test whether the wide range bar functionality works with the RSI, with the moving average, with the lower time frame, with the reverse alert, with the retest reverse alert, with the pending order. See what I mean? Every time you add a new input into this, there's around about 20,000 combinations of tests that have to be done to make sure that it doesn't interfere with something else and break something else. So I release something with a new feature in and someone goes, it doesn't work anymore. What doesn't work anymore? That. Oh, I didn't test that. You just go around in this circle of never-ending development, which is why I said, right, that's the market reversal, that's EA, that's what it does. If it doesn't do it, build your own. But you can build your own. You know, the market reversal alerts indicator has buffers. So, you know, that's a buffer, that's a buffer. So you can build your own EAs using this. You can import the market reversal alerts indicator into your EA and build your own. Obviously, the person has to have the market reversal alerts indicator that's using it, so you can't use it commercially. But you can muck about and build your own stuff. So I created an album on a 45 record. Yeah, basically. The grooves are so close together, it jumps all the time. Seymour, thanks for the offer, Lee. I'll let you know I'm using TradingView PineScript at the moment to test. Testing on the FTSE 1 minute, it's currently hitting 78% with 2.4 profit factor. That's brilliant. However, I would say if you're trading the FTSE 1 minute chart, it's going to take you a while because your backtesting needs to be a minimum of 2 years. And testing the 1 minute chart with a 2-year backtest is going to take, even with an EA that is highly skilled coded in the fact that it moves fast, it's going to take a long time to test. And you can't, you know, system parameter permutation tests on something that trades the 1 minute chart, it's going to take a long time. I find, you know, doing my system parameter permutation tests on the ORB EA, 6,500 tests on that takes 3 days. That's trading 5 minute. So you multiply that by 5, you're looking at a good week to 2 weeks to do a single test on a single instrument. So I've never found a strategy that works on 1 minute charts. Not consistently anyway, but don't know. Just it's too much chop. That's the trouble. You're trading too much randomness. A lot of people have come to me and said they've got really amazing results with the market reversal alerts EA and indicator on 1 minute charts. I traded gold. When I got into gold on Friday, I got into gold on 1 minute chart. Yeah. That was a market reversal alert CA entry, or indicator entry on the 1 minute chart. It failed. So I took, basically what I took was that 3-bar reversal there, pull back long, because the reversal alert was actually there. So I took that one. But a lot of people have said they've had really good results on that, on the 1 minute chart. But I never hear from them again. So, you know, either they're off making an absolute fortune, or, as I suspect, it was short-lived, because you can't trade random chop with any kind of strategy because there is only randomness. There is no order to the chaos on 1 minute. It is just purely algorithmic entries, which makes it very difficult to get anything consistent. And also, it's so difficult to backtest, as I said. If you can work it on the 5 minute, Seymour, if you can get it to work on the 5 minute chart with a similar strike rate, that would be better. And then from there, move up to 15 and hourly. But hourly is really where you will make most of your money with most strategies, because you're actually trading order on the hourly charts. It does also love 4-hour oil for some reason. Yeah, well, 4-hour oil would be brilliant. Send it over. I'll have a look. But I always find if you can get, if someone gives me a strategy that works really well on the 5 minute chart, with, like, you know, it gives a 1.5 hour or a 2-hour return on the 5 minute chart, I will always try and up that to the 15 minute and the hourly to increase the strike rate, because you'll usually find you get a better strike rate on the higher time frames, and therefore obviously more profit. You'll get less entries, but you'll get a higher strike rate. And I'm always up for a higher strike rate whenever using a stop loss, because that's the thing that kills everybody, is low strike rates. Everybody with all these amazing trend strategies. So I get, again, opening range breakout EA. People always get in touch on the ORB EA. I've had 3 losing days on the trot. Yeah, of course you have. Yeah. And I'm very surprised that they say that, because I've done a load of backtesting that's proven the fact that you will get many, many, many losing days. And I keep saying the edge in the strategy is long term. Yeah, you are trading a breakout strategy, a trend strategy. The strike rate is 30%. So yes, you come to me with 7 losers on a trot, I'll turn around to you and say, brilliant, you got 3 winners coming. Because that's the edge. The edge is it's a trend strategy. Yeah, the reason this made money today was because it was a trend breakout. Yeah, the strike rate on trend and breakout strategies is typically 30%. So 70% of the time you are losing. If you want a high strike rate, you need to do mean reversion. Mean reversion is 50% plus. But if they're different strategies. Where could I learn to code my own EAs? College course online, Udemy. You need to learn to code, basically. To be honest, Altro, you're better off paying someone. The market reversal alerts EA, most of that was coded by someone else. I started it and I gave it to someone else because I didn't have the time, and someone else coded it for me. You're better to pay someone else to do it. There's a lot of people overseas that will work for $10 an hour, $15 an hour, who are very skilled. You will take weeks, months to learn how to code. And if you equate the time it takes you to learn to code into money, you're better off just paying someone to do it. Shroud, market reversal EA on 5-minute works pretty good for me when combined with my top-down analysis. Yeah, that's the whole point of it. It's 4-hour or the higher time frame analysis. And that's how you got funded, yeah. That's the H4, M15, H1, M5 strategy that I teach in the bootcamp. That's top-down analysis is hugely important. I randomly stumbled on this channel. I tried the signal in the video and now I'm in profit. Signal? I haven't got a signal. I don't do signals. When backtesting the ORB, I found my max DD was 7R, so just use a quarter of a risk, yeah. Sweatshop coding camps, yeah. It's more individuals, Franco. Skilled individuals who are just basically coding freelance. That's what you want to find, a good freelance coder. But, the problem with building EAs is, as we know, 90% of the EAs do not work. I'm just going to turn that off because that's not running now anymore. 90% of the EAs don't work because the strategies aren't good. People test a strategy for a month or 3 months back testing and they go, wow, this is amazing. You build an EA and you back test it over 2 years and you find out it's actually a load of rubbish. Just had a lucky 3 months. So, and that's partly why I built this page on the website to get an EA coded. It says on here, why automate your trading strategy? That's the most important thing. Verify the strategy has a long-term edge. People come to me and say, I've got this amazing strategy. I back tested it for a month and it's got a 90% strike rate. What about the month before that? I haven't gone back that far. Well, what you had was a really lucky month. Go back. Has it got a long-term edge? If you did the same thing over 2 years, would you still be making money? The only way you can really do that in a timely manner is by having an EA coded, so that EA executes every single trade in line with the strategy. But it's all, it's all there. But but there's some of the strategies I've had sent. I haven't had many sent through here, to be honest. But the ones I've had sent through here haven't been very good, because people are using two condition indicators and things like that. So, someone's using an RSI with a stochastic with a MACD. Well, they're all three of those are condition indicators. They tell you the same thing, what the condition of the market is. There's no signal indicator. And well, the MACD in that case is the signal indicator, but these three things telling you the same thing. Yes, of course they're going to line up and they're going to look good on a chart when you line them up and look over a month or two. But realistically, they're not going to stand up at all when you're in a trend against you and you're trying to mean revert a trend. But you won't find that out until you actually put this in there and go, oh my God, why did that lose money? And you look at the chart and go, should have been doing the opposite. A lot of strategies as well, you find as well, you do the opposite to what the strategy is, you actually make money. I've found many of those in the past, mainly on higher time frames. There was a chart on a website you showed that listed buys and sells. Oh, right, brand key. Okay, so this is the buyer scorecard. Yeah, you're talking about, or you're talking about the sentiment. Yeah. Which is now going to load really slow because I've turned off the caching on this, but caching seems to break it. I'm actually a graphic designer trying to learn to trade. Cool. First thing you need to do is go to babypips.com if you haven't been there and do their basic course. Babypips is the place to go to start. Still got no COT data. Right, that's all I'll do for this morning. I'm just break even this morning. 125 on the Swiss yen. So we've got a lot of these yens hitting ADRs now. So Swiss yen's 125. Again, reversal alerts, mean reversions on these. Aussie yen, 100. Euro yen, 100. New Zealand yen. Coming up to 150 on New Zealand yen. So no reversal alerts on these yet, but these are pretty good mean reversion opportunities. I'm not quite sure why this yen is so weak. There's no news that I can see that's anything to do with the yen. So inflation forecast 5.6 versus 6.1. Okay. This is all bullish euro again. So my euro pound should be pushing. So there's mean reversion opportunities on the ends if you want to take them at the moment. So these things are still pushing. So if you get, the higher you get, as you can see, the higher you get, the higher the probability of the pullback. So if we get up to sort of 150s, 175s, that's when really it starts getting interesting for pullbacks. And with all of them, I usually use 15-minute, look for propulsion areas, that one there, for potential mean reversions. Wait for the reversal alerts on the low time frames. And get in when you get a reversal starting. Apart from that, not a lot else I'm really looking at today. So, okay, Kansas City Chiefs been having a lost weekend. I don't follow Super Bowl or the NFL at all, but yeah, I heard obviously it was on the news this morning. What was going on? I like the Super Bowl mainly because you get all the new trailers for the new movies coming out. That's why I like watching the Super Bowl, not for the football. Right, I'll leave it there. I'll be back this afternoon at 2:20 for the New York session. We'll have a look at how everything's gone this morning. Yeah, basically, I'm not looking to get into anything else today at the moment. Everything I've got on, I'm just managing at the moment. I've only got those 4. I've got no US dollar exposure at the moment, but there's nothing US dollar that I'm interested in. Everything's kind of sideways on the US dollar at the minute. But I would be looking for long opportunities. So I'll be keeping an eye on the RSI. Anything US dollar gets extended to the downside, I will potentially look at that for long opportunities, but there's nothing really setting up at the moment. So I'm not just going to get into something because it's extended. I'm going to wait. All right. Have a good morning. I'll be back this afternoon, 2:20 for the New York session. If you need anything, I'll be in the Telegram group, and otherwise I'll be back tomorrow morning for London, same time, 7:50. Have a good day.